I got a nice. Tell me this isn't an earworm. I'm going to put this in everybody's ear. This song is going to be in your ear. I don't know if anyone heard it. Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours. Earworm, earworm.
I'm trying. It's going. It's sputtering. I'll get there.
This is eye monster. Oh no. Everyone is in for a treat, and it's funny, but the guy is an OG of metal detecting. He doesn't realize how long he's been metal detecting, and he's been around a while. So I was able to secure Ed Cropski, one of the original broadcasters of metal detecting, when it was the iStream or whatever it was called. Ed was doing shows, and he's from Jersey, and I was listening to the shows, and I went out to get to meet him. Next thing you know, we're metal detecting together, having a good time, having some great times detecting. Ed's a big ring finder. He would take me on ring finds, which a lot of people don't do. I don't think there's very many people out there that are ring finders that bring people with them, and he taught me how to do ring finds, and it's a craft you do need to learn. And other than that, one of the guys I have a lot. There's not very many people I have fun detecting with, and Frank's not one of them. But Eddie and Ed's going out detecting with Ed's like going out with Rich, man. We just have a lot of fun. So before I bring you in, Ed, I just want to say I got a message last night. Frank says, I'm in the hospital again. Folks, I don't know if you know this, and listen, I know you think I'm joking, but my boy, he just wasn't taking his medications right. The infection in his back came back like that. Like they're like, you got the infection again. Yeah. So now he's back in the hospital, back on the IVs. I don't know what to say. I really don't, but so he's going to be in there. We'll see. We'll get him out. We'll get him on the IVs. Hopefully he can get this infection going a little. And welcome, Ed. Thanks for coming on, buddy. You the man.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's been a long time since I've done it.
You're down there in your workshop with every detector known to man behind you.
Yeah, I have a habit of not ever getting rid of any of them.
So I'm going to tell the folks what I told you in the beginning of this. We're going to do an old school interview with Ed, because you know what? It's early in the season. Some of the things Ed we're going to talk about, can prepare you for detecting. But Eddie, I know passe question, but how long have you been detecting now? Because you're no spring chicken.
I'm 59. I started when I was 10.
Started when you were 10.
My parents bought me my first metal detector at Christmas.
And that's about 80 years.
And I never put it down. And that was like well, there was a store. There was Edmund Scientific was near us in Barrington.
Yeah, right around the corner.
And they didn't have they had good metal detectors at the time, but then once I turned 18, I got my first whites, which was of the time
wow.
One of the best detectors out there back then.
Were there many companies out there besides White? Was Garrett out there? Was it what did
Garrett was out there? White's was out there. Fisher. I don't know of really at any others. I'm sure there were a couple old school ones. I know that Nautilus and all has been around for some time, but the local to me, White's seemed to be the one that was really that caught my eye. The whole the meter thing, and I just like the design of the machine, and You
So
know,
what were some of the first things that you found that got you like, I'm hooked? Like I'm going to continue to do this.
yeah, probably just silver coins. It took the longest time to find like a large cent or something. You know, you were excited back then. You know, you were digging up mercs and wheat cents and you know common stuff like that, a V nickel here and there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then you didn't really know much about relics then. Um, you know, but you thought about that kind of stuff, but you didn't really find it much. You didn't really know what it was. You would find, you know, the lipstick cases and different stuff, you know, but it really probably the
Right.
silver coins.
And then you've been everywhere, detective. What got you in the beach? What made you say, "Oh wow, I can go to the beach"? What got you to the beach detecting?
That took the longest time actually. You know what? That took the longest time. One, you know, I'm 55, 60 miles from the beach, so that was one thing. But then again, when you think about it, back then the old school metal detector, single frequency, weren't the best things for the beach. You know, it was okay, so up in the dry sand, but not really designed for that. You didn't want to get salt water on it in it, and the beach can be intimidating if you're just starting out and you look on the beach like here you are. You know, it's like a drop of water in the ocean, and I'm going to start. Okay, where do I start looking? You know what I mean? And you're just walking along, and then again, you're in the dry sand. That'll beat you up quick,
Right.
and you know you can get tired of that real fast. But yeah, I then later on, Whites came out with their beach hunter ID machine, so it had the dual frequency and the DFX that was dual frequency, so you were able to work to deal with the wet sand a little bit better and just you know the beach environment. And then that's it. You know how it is, Stevie. Once you know you hit a gold ring and
Well, yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
You're done.
So what people don't know about Ed, and I'm going to refer to him as like a scientist when it comes to metal detectors. He's the because we're kind of like polar opposites because he will take a machine and learn every facet about it. I don't know too many guys out there that know the VF3. Is that what it's called? The white VF
The V3i.
V3i. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and he's like one day he's like telling me all this stuff. Well, if you do this with the V3i and it does this for you, one ear and this ear, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, okay, let me just turn. I just want to turn my machine. I want to turn it, and he just like dissects these machines, and every machine you have, you've really kind of jumped
Yeah.
into it
Well,
first.
and back starting so young with it, and then starting with the whites, and you know the development of the metal detectors back then. You only had X amount of adjustments that you dealt with, and then as technology progressed, just like today, in a way, um, you then they would introduce signal balance or ground balancing, all these different techniques, all these things would start coming to market. And then so you would learn that, and then their new flagship machine, the next model, advanced model, would have these features put on it, and so I had to have it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's not that you had to have it. It's also that you investigated it and learned about
constantly. I still do it today with all the machines that we have here today. Whether you're changing, whether it's changing the coil or just changing one setting and going out in the field and walking the same field that I pounded, and walk out with 3 or 4 more things going, well, that made a difference. You know what I mean? Like it's the craziest thing. And and with the development, going from 10 years old to 15 to 18 to 20, and new things coming to market, you get to learn. White's really brought a lot of things to the market. TX, there were so many things, and there were some great books that came out with like the DFX, digging deeper with the DFX. That guy knew a lot of stuff. Foster, I think his name was. A Lot of great explanations in there. Andy has the books out now for
Right.
many detectors, and it's the way that it's presented to you. Clive had some great books out. My younger years with the XLT, when that was, well, my first digital machine was the Eagle, then the XLT. Found a lot of gold with the XLT. Really reading some of his books about dig those nickels, dig those nickels, dig those nickels. It, and it really made a difference.
Well, I know one thing. If we sat here and talked about your finds and what you found, we'd be here all night long.
Yeah, it's a lot, Steve. It really is amazing, and it hasn't changed a wink, because we all love the idea that we go out and, whoa, look at this! Look, I just found this gold ring, and it like satisfies you for a small amount of time, and you're ready to go dig up the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, once
you're right about
that.
that.
It's amazing what's in the dirt. And
but I'm talking about the beach. I know there's been a lot of times we've gone detecting, and we'll probably talk about the big day, but we've gone detecting, and you've always have found a lot more kind of than I have. And it's not like we don't compete, but you always seem to find good stuff. And I found good stuff when we detected too.
Sure,
but
sure.
It just seems like you find it on more of a not different level, but more frequency, or you find more kind of than I do. And you are hardcore. You will detect a lot hardcore than I do.
It's a lot. Again, it goes with the experience of the way you swing, the speed you're swinging. You keep that coil low and flat. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people today out there that still, and they're sickling hay. It's they come up too far, the coil's cocked, and you want that thing flat
and too fast. A lot of, and you say I go fast. Sometimes I sit there and I think I'm going slow, and you go, man, you're going fast.
Yeah, no,
and you don't notice it.
See, the thing is, and all you're going to do is beat your arm up and tire yourself out. Like, I want to try to, I want the stamina. I need to be able to be out there for a long time. It's not easy on the sand, in the sun. Sometimes you ain't finding next to nothing, and it's just like that could get old. And so, and again, back to the settings with the machine, you could set the machine for your swing. You know what I mean? But don't go out there swinging too fast, and don't be in a hurry. A lot of people are in a big hurry to get, they started on, 20th Street. And before you know it, you look down the beach, you're on 25th Street. And you're like,
right,
damn, dude, I went like a half a block, and, I do have the tendency to, one thing I'll mention about the beaches is, I used to do a lot more of the ring recoveries than I do nowadays. I kind of just want to get back to doing my original hobby. I don't mind helping people out if they approach.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah,
but what I wanted to say, one thing that really helped me out with that, doing all that kind of stuff for a period of time, was you really get to know where the people lose the majority of stuff.
Oh yeah,
like I take all that into mind. And so, there's a lot in the dry sand and there's a lot in the wet sand. But if you know the sections of things, I'll grid the hell out of it.
Yeah. And I've learned so much from detecting with you. And we know I got a little bit of a hard head. And there was a time when it came to when it came to ring finding, I was so stupid at some point, because I would get on a beach with somebody and they'd be like, well, I lost it. And for some reason, my head shifted. Well, I think they can't be telling the truth. So I think, well, maybe they lost it over here. And I kind of would put my spin, and you were the one that I started to realize I got to listen to what they tell me, where they think it is, basically first before where I think it is. Because, you run the scenario through your head and you're like, well, they couldn't, maybe they didn't know where they were. And maybe I think that, no, if they say, look here, you got to start looking there. And a lot of times it does immediately pay off.
Right.
But no, you taught me a lot about, and like I said, there's we've come to learn about ring finders that, but for when you first started taking me on ring finds, I know what that's about. Like, you got to be able to trust me, because there so much could go on by bringing someone in on a ring find. And you've brought me in on some ring finds, and there was some that I found, and I walk it right over to you and I go, here it is,
Yeah.
But when someone wants to tag along with you metal detecting, you do have to be, we've learned, you and I both, we've been burned, it happens. So what? But I knew for you to bring me along into ring finding that I had to be on the up and up. Because there was some times we didn't find the target.
Look,
and
a lot of times people think they lost it. That's when they realized it was missing. It's not necessarily.
But the thing is, we would go on ring finds and we were unsuccessful. And what would I do if, let's say, I was back in the same area? I would call you and say, I'm going to be looking for this ring.
Right.
Because now, let's say I start looking for this ring there, and I could be on the total level. If I find, I'm going to call Ed. But if you were to come down and see me there without me like telling you first, you're going to start to think, what the,
Yeah, that is a screwy little area, but it's one of those things that where, like, okay, would you have gone there if you didn't know it was there? Probably not. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking about when we would not find. There were certain things.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
yeah. That's it is a whole screwy thing, and you got to watch a little bit with different things. And there's been different scenarios, in the past couple of years where I'm like, damn, man, and the person's so confident that it was there, like, oh, it was on the towel, flipped up, and and the thing is, it don't take long. How many times you go on the beach and you're on the beach and three people walk past you with detectors? It only takes one person to get over, and they walk right through your section or whatever it might be. And unfortunately, people pick it up, and you can't really blame them if they don't know it's somebody's lost ring. They're just like, oh, God, whoa, I got a gold today.
I swear to God. So one of the funniest stories, and, I wish I could have found the picture, but, I have seen you do some great finds. We've been together on some great finds first off the golf course. Jesus God. Eddie called me one day. He goes, I know
that
you're right
around
Hail
the Mary.
He goes, I know you're right around the corner from where I got to go, but this girl lost her ring on a golf course. And he's like, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go.
Holes? 9 holes?
Yeah, 9 holes. Yeah, but 9 holes, but it was 109 degrees.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't there.
Right. She wasn't there. We went with the girl's father, and he was pretty amazing, because he took us all over the course. I don't know how he knew this. This was funny. He goes, well, she hit here. She hit there. Now, we walked this whole course.
She had it inside of her sports bra.
Right. Well, we had gotten permission. We knew we didn't have to dig up any holes in the golf course. It was all, all prepared.
Yeah, surface.
We walked every hole of this golf course. We walked every hole of this golf course. Now, it's 2 hours later.
And found multiple little pencils.
Yeah. I'm dying. I'm done. I'm telling the people we ain't fine. I'm telling them we ain't fine this. We ain't fine this, right? We ain't fine. And I can see my car in the parking lot. Now I'm to this point where I'm done, and I'm just like swinging my machine for like good looks, right? I'm swinging my machine for. Don't Eddie find it off the cart path? What was on the last hole? Was it the hole right near the hole or the tee box?
It was right. They had parked the golf cart, and when they got out, she like adjusted herself or something. But back to the little pencils, it was that little metal piece that holds the eraser on.
Right. Yeah.
We kept finding them, and they were like an 18 or something on the machine. And there it was. I'm like, oh, there's another 18. Bent down, and there's the ring laying in the ground.
I saw you. You reach down and you pull up this diamond engagement ring, and you're like, I found it. And I was like, no way, dude. Yeah. I'm like, I could not believe that was one of the best ones.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. That really was like, you do after a while. Sometimes you're trying to make the person happy a little bit and give them a little clue. You're like, dude, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? And then when you're just about ready to do that, there's a little dry, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, there it is.
And there it is. So we went up to the middle of he got a call for like a 1 ounce gold ring. We don't know. we don't know if we believe this story too much either. But so we go there, and it was a house on the bay with a boat, and what he
Yeah.
dropped it over the boat. So right off their dock, and we get there, and the guys go, "All right, the ring's out there. We're out of here," and they disappear. We're like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah, he was a big man.
So you're in there fishing around, and this was the best part because you're in there up to your neck in this bay.
Up to my neck. It's raining.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to. It starts to rain, and I think I'm sitting on the boat, and I look over, and all I can equate it to was you looked like the clown from It.
It.
Yeah, because you're under the dock.
I'm
right?
under the dock.
It's pouring, and it looked like when the kid looked in the sewer. You look Pennywise.
Pretty bad.
You look like, yeah, you're sitting there. The water's up to here, and the dock is here. I'm like, dude, you look like the clown from It, just sitting there waiting for the rain. So we're sitting there, or I'm sitting there because you're in the water, and dude, I thought you were about to drown because you were right at the brink.
You got to watch sometimes in the lagoons. They'll drop off quick, and you got the mud, and you do got to be careful with things.
And I saw you. I saw you reach down so far that the water was up to your neck, and you come up, and I don't know what happened next, but we heard this thing. It sounded like a boulder.
It was the size of a golf ball, Stevie.
It was. Clunk, clunk, clunk. And you come up with this ring that was like this. And it was a 1 ounce gold ring. And the funny part was it was a signet ring with like no letter on it. Like
no letter yet. It was so new. It didn't really fit right and no letter. So it was that new. And he never even got that.
Now, and listen,
and my Equinox sunk, and that was the end of that. And my lab replaced it.
That was when gold was a little cheaper, and that was an expensive ring. And they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna take care of you. You come over, you find that ring, we're gonna take care of you." Now these guys own pizza shops. They're living right on the dock and friggin' the beach. What they give you, like $50? Like they thought they were handing you the world. I mean,
recall.
I know. We laughed as we drove over. We're like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But I couldn't. That was another one I couldn't believe you found.
Yeah, there's been quite a few, Stevie. That and that's back to some of the things of some of the stuff where I just wanted to get back to doing the hobby itself because I enjoy that. It gets a little old running around.
We've talked about
some
that.
of them are a big pain in the ass. You'd be surprised. And it gets to a while. Like I said, I've been doing it since I was 10 because I enjoy the hobby. And
we both have the same.
When you start doing something, when you start turning into some kind of business or something along those lines, you get away from you're not doing it for the hobby anymore.
And it turned into being with wolves in sheep clothing, we'll say.
Yeah.
A lot of guys rubbed up to us that turned around and
then it just that's not what metal detecting is all about.
No. Now we know you get calls, I get calls. We go out and find them.
Yeah, sure. If I can do it, and again, Steve, I'm getting older. I lost Dad a few years ago. I'm spending as much time as I can with Mom and my family, wife, and stuff like that. And like I said, I just want to get back to doing me and
right. I'm the same way.
Enjoying the beach.
It's more peaceful and less aggravation. I was getting beat up by the customers. Nowadays, see, the customers have kind of changed these days because with the internet has brought on this thing like if they call you and you don't jump to their whims, they don't understand. Look, you lost it at high tide. There's no way I'm going to. No, but you got to come. Can you go out in that high tide? You're like, they don't understand. But now they like I had a guy call me one day. I went out looking for his stuff. He goes, I said, I can't find it. He goes, yeah, that's what the guy said yesterday. I said, what? Yeah, he goes, some guy named Ed. I called you up. Yo, were you here yet? Yeah. The guy like played me to come out there and look and never told me, because if they had told me you went and looked, I'd be like, yeah, if he can't find it, I can't. But the games these people play with you now, they're like, well, if you can't come, I'm calling someone else.
Well, it's not that. Then you do lock yourself into coming that go to help them. I leave my family event,
Yep.
drive to the shore, go and do my thing, and then you get 2/3 of the way there. Oh, hey, yeah, we just found it in our bag, or oh, there was a guy walking on the. Oh, well, that's great, you found it, but and all for nothing, Stevie. Especially in today's economy now with the price of gas. I don't ask for much.
We ain't
You
driving
cover
around
you
with.
you could. I was doing it with a call out fee. You cover my gas
Yeah,
tolls. I'd be
that's
more
all.
than happy to help you. And they stiff you.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
I'll
Well, that's
Venmo
it.
you. You never
You
see
went
a
out.
dime.
You
And
went out and found it. You went out and found that girl's bracelet, and you said she didn't even like thank you.
I was
Yeah.
very surprised at that. And again, it's you hate to say, well, there's always one bad egg in the basket. Don't let it bother. You know what? How about I just go back to doing my hobby? And
Well, we
can help you,
we got sick and tired of getting beat up on both ends of this.
yeah. I just
Yeah. No, I love ring finders. Let them go. I like seeing people do returns. If I can do a return for somebody, I will.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is.
It's a double-edged sword to the hobby.
It is. But we were having a lot of fun doing it. Hey, you want to go on a ring find? Yeah, let's go.
Well, and again, back up, if we may, to another great time that me and you had. Again, back with getting the experience of doing all those the ring finding things was knowing where people lose things.
Yeah,
you start to see a pattern forming. So the times, even in January of one year, a few years back now, after the storm, there were the three of us. We all, you two guys ran down to the low tide zone, and I said, nah, you know what? I'm going to come up here because I just picture those waves pounding that surf and pushing all that sand up here into the dry further. And you just went down, and I did my thing. Before you know it, gold ring, 18-karat white gold diamond ring. Next thing I know, boom, nice diamond ring, 5 or 6 diamonds in there. You've had enough of that. You came up 50 feet from me, and you found the matching diamond.
Yeah, that was because I stole that from you. We know it.
No, you didn't, Stevie. You weren't that close.
I cursed you out because I was pissed. That was we had such a great day. That was. But
what they were dry sand losses earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then they got pushed around a little bit, but exposed now up there in the dry.
And we saw on the beach where they were. You had 1, 2, and 3. Like the beach just kind of spread them out. Like took them in 3 different directions, but they were all about the same space apart, or down the slope in the beach. They were all in the same spot, just spread apart. It's just amazing. And then someone who's going to remain anonymous, I won't say any names. Well, either was it before we found them, or I think it was before we found them. You know who came up and goes, well, there was just a guy out here that just pounded his beach and he didn't find a damn thing. And I'm like, well, that's funny because he just found a gold ring over there and whoever was here missed it. And then we found all those rings and we were like, I was laughing because we knew the guy who was supposedly out there pounding that area and didn't find them. And it was just funny.
We had a good day. I was swinging that X-Cal with that wad on it. I got it right behind me.
You got it. So let me ask you a question, okay?
What's that?
We know you've graduated to the Manicure. Let's take the Manicure out of the picture right now because I don't want that to skew your opinion.
Okay.
If you had to pick like one machine that probably did you the best out of your career or that you really will say liked or your favorite, what one machine out of everything you have?
Oh God. I've had be honest. It's tough because see, I'm one of them. I have different tools in my toolbox, guys.
Right.
So I have my dirt digging preferences, and then I have my beach preferences. And in all reality, when I go back to the dirt, growing up and most of my success, and found a ton of gold in it in my freshwater swimming lake that drains out. But my V3i, I really enjoyed the V3i, and what's funny is the Weiss V3i with the detector way before its time. the things that were incorporated in the V3i back then when it hit the market, and going back to researching all the different things and the settings, all the new settings that come out, and the word, what they want to call these settings and stuff like that. All these modern day machines, the Manicore, the D2, whatever you want to call it, they all say, oh, well, we got this, and not get. You got all these different settings in there. The V3 High had all that stuff. It was called something a little bit different when it gets down to the definition of it. The word could be the name could be a little different. Sometimes they're very similar, but when it comes down to it, the definition of what it does and what it did, the V3i had it.
So now, do you think that technology, and I want to ask
the
you,
processors are faster?
Well, yeah, we know technology has moved ahead, but so I do want to ask you first off, like, why do you think White's never, like all these other machines built on that technology, why did White's not do it?
Yeah, they were working on it. They were just afraid the evolution was a little hard. I think if I'm not mistaken, there was a little quarrel with Mind Lab back in the day. And I think even to this day, once the V3i and then White's was out of business for some time,
Yeah,
that whole multi-frequency, you could have a multi-frequency machine, but does it process all the frequencies at the same time? And the Whites had the 3 frequencies that came out, and it was shoot 3, but it was also process 3 at the same time.
right.
That was its own, I guess you could say, patent kind of design. And there were, if I remember correctly, there was some kind of quarrel and almost lawsuit or something there with something with Mind Lab back then.
Right.
And
Always.
and then White's never really evolved much further than that. Even when they came out with the newer machines after the V3i and tried to incorporate some more modern technology into it, just the body of the machine, they were still using some of the old molds from the machines back in the day, but just slapped new labels on them and some new technology in that, and it just didn't pan out for them, and it was a shame. A great company.
Also could have been because the owner was getting older and older.
Well,
and
Ken and all, they were done. I mean, you had Steve Howard and all running the show down there. A great guy, and again, everybody at White, super nice people. They took care of you. You don't find that anymore.
No.
I mean, there's some people that stuck up it, but everybody knew that they were the gold in the industry. And it was really nice. And again, they were around since the 50s, I think.
Right.
And then it's a shame, and Garrett, the grandkids or whatever of the after White started dwindling away, they didn't really want much to do with it, and I guess it just wasn't their thing. And then Garrett picked them up. Along with some of their technology and machines, they picked up that 24K gold detector. But then, and back on the other note,
the princess, she comes down while I'm doing a show to ask me to carry her cat litter in.
But you said, I have the Manicore. I got the D2.
Right.
I got 2 D2s back here. I love them. I just put them on Steve's detector rods. Oh my God! If you don't mind me throwing that little boost out there,
throw whatever you want.
The Steve detectors rods, the bomb. These things are so nicely made. They're not cheap, but they ain't cheap made either.
Right.
And I also got those. What are they called? The DJ mount or DJ Diggs mount on them for the remote. We all know the D2 has a remote problem falling off.
Right.
You don't want to lose that $800 piece. And but you put these other mounts on there, and Steve Detector's rods, they now have kind of joined forces in making this incredible rod for the D2, and they incorporate both pieces. And it's what a nice setup, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, see, that's the thing. I love the Manicore. and I loved my Equinox back in the day. But then
Yeah,
again, like I said, it sunk. I love it in the dirt, so I won't take the Equinox in the water no more after mine I've replaced it. And I'll take the Manicore waist deep. I'm not gonna get the remote all wet. I've heard a few stories already. Probably half a dozen of them that sunk, and some people they replace them and then they sunk again, and then they sunk again. And I'm like, you know
you
what?
know me,
The
dude. You know
D2,
me.
the D2 don't sink.
I'm jumping right in that water with that Manicore this year. I'm going. You know what I mean? I ain't playing games, but now let's go back to my question. Let's take the
Yeah,
Manicore out of the picture.
yeah.
And maybe even the D2, because I don't even think that would be your answer.
Okay.
What machine did you love on the beach and you had the most success with in your career?
The Excalibur.
You can say the X-Cal, yeah.
Yeah, the Xcal. That it just sure you're not going to get it's a little tougher to get that small gold or a chain or something. But man, talk about simplicity, power. It really just it was a nice machine. And you 9 times out of 10 when you got a certain growl to it.
That's what everyone said. Yeah,
it caught your attention real quick, and you almost had a grin on your face instantly. What I mean? And I still play to it today. I got the Watt back there. I have an original sword with the horseshoe. Everything works. I got the 8-inch coil one, and I don't have a 10 no more. Yeah, I don't have a 10.
Yeah, I went right to the CTX, but I wish there would have been a time that I wish I would have been detecting before the CTX and had an X-Cal, because I think I would have loved it. I think I would have liked it. Yeah.
To be honest with you, Stevie, I forgot about I have the CTX here too, and we all, when they came out, we all had we were running them up in the bay and stuff like that. Love that machine. Love that machine. I had it. Me and I don't know if Tom Phillips is on tonight with us. Me and Tom met up on the beach one day. Oh my God, we worked a 2-block area. We dug. I bet you we dug 400 or 500 targets, multiple rings between us.
Right.
Coins. It was insane. You couldn't take a step without another target. We were exhausted. But let me tell you something. We were both swinging those CTXs, and
they're heavy. I realize how heavy they are. Yeah.
That's the only issue with them. They're nice. They're not bad in the water because it takes some of that weight away. But yeah, I mean, we ain't getting any younger.
So here's my little question. The Manicore. Yeah. I like it. Okay. I'm enjoying it. And to me, it's going to be my go-to machine this year. So now I'm at this point where I'm a little more savvy with machines. Kind of started with the Equinox, and I'm a big proponent of read the goddamn manual while you have the machine in your goddamn hand, and you can.
They don't even give you a manual with half these machines now.
Well, I'm saying you open it up on the web. But read the manual while you have the machine. And I did that with the Equinox, and I really learned a lot. And so now I got the Manicore, and I get this thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into this thing. And I get the manual. I manipulate the machine while I read the manual. I'm like, okay, this is, and I'm like, I don't want to say, how do I say, there's not much to this, but, there's no need. The only thing that I was limited in or didn't do. I've been watching people do reviews, and I'll get into this in a second. But so I read the manual. Now I got Andy's book, and I kind of flipped through that, and I'm reading some. But to me, I'm finding out honestly that the presets in the machine are this. You people want to oversimplify this machine, and
yes.
There's not much to do with it.
The presets in the Manicore and a couple other modern day technologies are already pretty well thought out. It's there's a lot to it. Look at your recovery speed on things, sensitivity. Everybody, again, just because it goes up to 30 or 25 Doesn't mean you
Yeah.
got to put it on 30 or 25. You got to be where it wants to run, with the sweet spot. Just like you want to find that sweet spot when you're pinpointing. Oh, it's right there somewhere.
Right.
Sensitivity, it's the same kind of thing. You know, you want to have a nice, stable machine because you want to hear that break.
Right.
You know, and that's what you're going to get. And you know, some people believe in it, some people don't. You know, at least ground balance one time. Oh,
Well,
it's got automatic ground balance, or it's got this.
no.
It's there for a reason. It's you
But
know,
what I'm
like,
saying is,
and it's easy to do.
you don't need to go into this machine as
You
deep
really
as you
don't.
did with the CTX.
Right.
All I'm finding out is ground balance, noise cancel, and sensitivity. So I'm watching these guys talk about their best beat. I'm going to tell you my best beat settings, and they're like,
recovery.
that's all. And
Yeah.
they go, all right, so go into the recovery and lower it from 5 to 4. And I'm like, that's your big secret. That's your, that's it's like to me, it's kind of like that's all they can make up about these presets to say that that's their special settings. And they're not doing much to it. I have not seen anybody go into that machine and do the tone breaks and they talk about the Ferris settings or whatever, how you want, notching out the Ferris or whatever, this and that. And they don't even do that because the presets are so good.
Yeah, and things like tone settings, to me, that's more of a personal preference on like how many tones do you want,
Right?
you know, and if you think about that, you don't really want it. I don't like a lot of tones, for reason being that you're introducing all those different tone breaks now, and what that does is when you swing over a target, sometimes you might not get the clearest sound because you're at that break. And it's going from one sound to the next because that's
Trying
what
to
it is, a
figure out
tone break.
right,
And
right.
therefore, well, that kind of sounds like crap, you know. And when we metal detect,
I
our
got you.
first
Yeah.
instinct is sound. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it
So
almost goes back to the simplicity of beep and dig,
what are
so
you
to
using?
say.
What are you using on the Manicore? 5 tones?
Um,
Because I'm in the alt tones right now, and I think you're making a very good point.
Oh, I'm telling you that's a big thing. You know, a lot of machines it's another bellow and whistle, so to say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that
but you make a valid point by what you're saying. If you've got all these
it's a
sounds,
fact.
so the machine needs to say, all right, well, we're going to give you this sound, but it's also close to this sound. And we know whenever we get conflicting sounds, it throws us more away from that target.
And especially you don't want a tone break at, like, gold fits in a certain range, right?
Right,
Well, you really don't want a tone break in your gold zone.
right,
Because if you do, you might say, "Oh, that doesn't really sound like gold," or it just sounds broken up, or
right.
anything that might make you skip it or whatever. You're hurting yourself. You
Yeah,
know, there's been sometimes you go to a machine and it has one tone, 3 tones, 5 tones. I've taken 3 tones. I'll elect 3 tones, and I'll make two. I'll make 2 of those tones the exact same. 2 of those
right,
ranges the same tone, because I'd rather just work in 2 tone, but you have to alter it a little bit to make
right.
two
I
tone.
got you. Yeah,
You know
because
what I'm saying?
when I had the Deist, I set all those tone breaks up, and
Yeah.
I thought I did a pretty good job at it. But I'm not gonna. I can't do that. I'm not gonna do it with the Manicore. But yeah, the Deist, it was easy to do, so I liked doing that. But now,
and on the beach, and that's the other thing. And on the beach, I really just want to hear high and a low. That's
right,
all I want.
right,
High and a low. And on the beach, we're probably digging everything anyway if we're doing it right. You
right.
know, and especially now when you look at the D2 and the Manicore, dude, they hit the smallest little things.
I love the D2, man. I love that machine.
I mean, I'll tell you what. What's I can't stand pull tabs. None of us like them. You know what's really bothering me anymore? Rivets. The
I
rivets
love,
from beach
yeah, the
chairs.
tiny ones. Yeah,
Tiny
they
little
sound like
rivets, bro.
they sound
Before
so
your
big.
machine back in the day wouldn't hit them.
The little aluminum ones,
Yeah, yeah.
But ever since I found a big gold ring on a penny tone, and then another 18 karat band on a pull tab tone, you know what? I dig the damn pull tabs. I don't
dig,
care what anyone says. I'm going to get it, make sure it's a pull tab, and move on.
yeah, I dig everything on the beach. Tired of digging vape. Yeah, tired of the vapes too.
Oh yeah.
Everybody thinks the beach is a trash can. I hate it. I can't stand. Oh, it disappeared in the sand. That's
But
okay.
we have had some great times detecting. I know we're going to have more. It's great, get
Yeah.
out there.
It's tough. It's tough, Stevie. I mean, with today's
Yeah.
world, I mean, there's a lot more people detecting out here now. It's a great hobby.
Exactly.
Back in the day, we were the people, the few nerds out there in the football field or in the park doing our thing, and we're on the beach. Yeah, but I'm the one with the gold ring in my hand. But
So
that, I mean,
I blame
technology
that,
is advanced, and now you got social media,
and the
but
price. No, the price. See, what I blame
the
that on.
price of gold, the price of gold's going to hurt us. Now you got tungsten and all the stainless steel.
But what I believe put more detectorists on the beach was the Equinox.
That really did a lot.
The price point on the Equinox was perfect for people. They'll said, "Hey, for what, $500-600, you can go out and get a machine." I'll get that. And there was a time we would go on the beach, and there'd be 8 detectorists in a 2-block range, and 9 of them had Equinox.
That's
Everyone,
true.
Equinox.
Yeah,
and now I think the Equinox has done its time. And I don't think too many people are going to get into this hobby saying, "Oh yeah, I'll get in and buy a Manicore." So that's what I think. And I think that maybe now the numbers are maybe dwindling a little, but they're still a lot. Yeah, still
don't listen to me. I still got 2 Equinoxes behind me, like brand new.
No, I love them.
Yeah, I've seen these things for $300-400.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, that's a good buy.
The big push to get into metal detecting, the dealers were like, when people were going, they want to get into metal detecting, they look into the dealers, they look online, and they're buying a brand new Equinox, and the price point was right. And that's what I'm saying is I just don't think that that whole marketing scheme is happening right now to put more people on the beaches.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. You know me, we go out, we meet people, we love to talk. I don't care. There's it's just though that now we know there's so many detectorists out there. It kind of,
there are,
bummer on
there are, but there's also, I see people on the beach. They come out and they say, "Oh yeah, I get an Equinox home," and they're on the beach, and I'm like, "Well, they ain't finding nothing in the closet."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're like, "Yeah, I don't really find much, but I don't get out." I'm like, "Well, you got to get out." I mean, that's it. If you're serious about it, sure, you can get lucky, go out and swing and get over top of something. But if you're serious about it, and I'd start, like I said, I started when I was 10. For some reason, I just never put it down. You can really, again, be surprised at what you can find laying on the ground.
All right, let's get your prediction. Okay. I wish it was July right now. If it was July, I might not be doing this show. I might be on the beach detecting.
Sure.
So what's your prediction for Stevie with the Manicore this year? Well, will he have success? Now listen, last year I only found 2 gold rings, and that was with the D2. The year before I only found 1 with the D2. Now I got this Manicore. What do you think? What's your prediction?
I think things will step up for you. The gold ring thing, I'd like to see you break your last year record on the gold ring. So that would be what, 3?
I'd be happy with 3. You know that.
So but going back on it, I think we're starting to see more of the with the Manicore and even the D2. If you want to call it micro gold.
Right.
I think you're going to see more bracelets and pendants. I noticed last year with me swinging the Manicore, every time I turned around, I was digging up a silver bracelet or a silver necklace, and that wasn't a common thing in the years past before I got that. I was just hitting those items cleaner, and I was like, wow. So I think you're going to see more things along the lines of, maybe not big gold chains because of the economy, but you never know. But
Right.
I think you're going to see, and what people still have and what they can afford, the smaller gold. People like to wear it.
Listen, I think they're still wearing it. I think they're still out there losing
They
it.
are,
They
but
really do.
look at how many earrings we dig now.
Right.
I don't know about you, Stevie, but I dig a lot of earrings.
Now, I do know, and it might, and listen, like I said, I'm all about recoveries, but now with the internet and people, when they drop their ring, they know they can have someone come find it immediately. So they're not abandoning them as easily or as fast as they would in the past. So that does take them off the beach.
That's something I said as a double-edged sword to the hobby.
It is, yeah. But, we all know recoveries are good for people, and that's fine. But the conditions are, though, that, everybody, call ring finders, call ring finders. I lost my ring in the Empire State Building. Call ring finders, call ring.
Say it all the time.
That was another reason why I wanted, you can't chase these internet things because it's
I lost my ring in my car.
Yeah.
I lost my ring I think I was up in my attic. And what do you want me to do for you?
Right. But when you're on the beach, everybody knows everything. I know everything. Get on and call ring finders. And, that's fine. But that's less targets. And that's another reason why it's tough out there.
Oh, sure.
Sure. It's a tough grind. It's always been a tough grind.
Yeah. And, and another thing is just change of times. It's 2026 now. Back again, when I got into this, and it was the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
Yeah.
Gold. Everybody was wearing it. All my swimming lakes and stuff like that. I had half of South Philly and all in there. It was a good time. I remember going out into these things. 11 rings in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not going to have days like that anymore. And I also think because the stuff that's been there for a while has gotten picked up and there's not stuff laying around as long.
Yeah. If you do some research and try to find some old sweet spots that, were around 60 years ago, and that they might be small little swimming beaches, or they might be, little things. Development's tough, with, as far as parks and stuff go. But, if you do a little research with it and take a shot, just go out there and take a shot. You just never know.
Right.
But you got to be safe too. You can't just wander into the water. There's a lot of mud that builds up after 60 years. And you can,
we've heard
myself way deep in it in the middle of nowhere one time by myself, and I thought that was the end.
We hear those stories. We hear people getting sunk out in the ocean. I know I've gotten hit by waves, and it happens. Yeah. But I am looking forward to detecting this summer, detecting with you, and getting. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I got to wait till the end of June, and that'll be the start.
Yeah. Well, I am. Let me see. I'll be in LBI starting the 15th of this month. I'll be up. I'll be up there with some doing some family things for a few days, and we'll be up there a couple of weeks. But I can only do a couple days at a time with work.
That's your joint, man. And you used to take me up there a couple times.
Yeah,
it's not a place I really go on my own. But once in a while, you and I would take a ride up there, and that's a whole different monster, that beach up there.
It is, and that's the thing. I'm glad that I'll be there for some time, and I get out all hours in the early morning hours and stuff.
Right.
And it's
you'll find something.
It's an intimidating beach in a way. It's a lot. Some of it's a lot of very soft, sugary sand. It'll wear you out. It'll swallow things up quick.
Yeah, and a big slope that you can't walk on. That slope, you sink.
And it's a little bit of a quality over quantity beach.
But it's still
you don't find a lot.
People don't understand how different the northern beaches are. The northern beaches have big slopes with you really sink as you climb up that.
Yeah,
it's a different monster. And then you get up into some of those beaches, man. It's like the Jersey Shore. It's exactly like the Jersey Shore. Those people are animals up there, man. You can't get on a beach with a metal detector in some of those beaches up there. They'll kill you. You're in their way, man.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be out there in the middle of the night and doing my things, and
And yo, listen, you're gonna have to hunt July 4th without me because we're going to Alaska. We're going back to Alaska.
Now there is something that's on my bucket list. I want to go nugget hunting up in Alaska.
Right. Well, we go to Anchorage. I'm gonna be spending time with the family. I can't detect.
Yeah.
But just the state itself is, and you know what's weird? You know what's weird is I'm gonna be up there, like I'm there till the 10th of July, but Chuck Smalley does his tour, and he's gonna be up there like on the 20th of July.
Yeah,
like
I almost want to say Chuck's one of the guys that does the nugget hunting.
Right, he does. Yeah, he does. And he's got
with Ronnie.
Right. They got a trip planned. They got a trip planned this July. And I want to tell you something. If I had already been in Anchorage when Chuck's trip was going on, I would have piggybacked onto that because I wouldn't have had to pay the airfare. I'd have sent my wife home by herself in economy or whatever at the back of the plane because I ain't gonna be on there. I said bye, and I'd have went up with Chuck, but I'm gonna be like 10 days off. It would have been so cool.
Yeah, that's what you need up there to do that. They go pretty hard. You know, it's a pretty you're working.
Yeah, they go up to Nome. I mean, they go into Nome and do that.
You get out what you put into it.
Yeah.
It's definitely, but if you really want to do it because it's a bucket lister in life kind of thing, you could get hardcore into it for a good 10 days.
I'm just saying it was almost an easy transition into doing it. It was just the timing was off. But yeah. So we're going to be do it again with my family. I'm going to go up there and relax and we're just gonna have a good time. But that's where I'll be. And then when I get back, I'm going to be back right after that, and I'm hitting the beach. You're gonna see my heels in the sand.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I hope to be out. I just did some work on the Ocean City house. I'm all ready with that. That's my sister just got done decorating it and stuff. And I'm looking forward to getting down there and spending more time. Like I said, I just want to get more time in to doing the hobby itself.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to all that. Got a trip planned in November for the Keys. I need to get back down to Florida.
Yeah.
I just get involved in everything again.
I know.
You know.
Well, listen, I got to tell you something. I got to tell you, thank you so much for joining me. Listen, you're welcome on this show. Hey, if you want to be the new co-host, you're in.
You know what I need to find, Stevie? More time.
I know.
You know what I mean? That's what that's the hardest thing to find anymore is time.
I've been doing this show for so long. It's not easy, but and it's easy to do anymore, and I'm glad I could get a guest like you. I'm glad you came on because I beg you to come on this show all the time. Hey, come on,
I know, and I feel bad sometimes, and I love being with you and hanging out and everything like that. It's just hard sometimes to make it happen.
I know, but I look forward to having some more good times detecting. You're the man. I want to thank you, and hey, stay on the page, bro. Post on our page. I know you do. You're good.
I'm in the shadows, and I'm not even on the social stuff all that much too much anymore, unless I find something that I get excited about.
But I just want to ask you a question. There's one time I didn't have a metal detector, and I asked you if I could borrow one, and you said you didn't have any.
I got plenty.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's almost like sometimes I'm like, there's some kind of sickness here, But I still got my original blue box whites and stuff. They're wall hangers. Everything works, But I just have
why
them.
Why don't you take that out on the beach one day?
Yeah. Now, and it's just just having the machines around, and like I said, it's different tools in the toolbox, But now with the technology, they are making these machines where you can, one man show. It's all you need. But I don't know. I just have my favoritism. Something I don't have my TDI Pulse. I have a couple Pulse machines left.
It's nostalgia, dude. Nostalgia.
That's it is. And then don't let me tell you something. Some of these older machines still got it.
I know. All right, buddy. We're gonna say goodnight. Thanks again. Yo, bro, keep in touch. Everything's good. You the man.
All right, Stevie.
All right, I'm gonna kick you out of the show, buddy, and I'll talk to you soon.
Take care. See you.
Bye, my man. See you. So, folks, right there, I'll tell you, is definitely one of your greatest metal detectorists, good friend and detectorist. The guy is straight up. He's genuine. He'll do anything for you. He'll do anything for other people, and he's a good guy. I tell you, not you guys find me someone else who does ring finds that will teach someone else how to do it and take them on and show them everything. Because I tell you what, they're not out there. They're not many. So again, if you guys didn't hear, Frank's back in the hospital. Hardhead wasn't taking his medication properly, and he the fungus grew back, and so he's back in there on IVs, and hopefully we'll be home in a day or so, and we'll see what goes on. All right, so on to one other thing. I got to tell you guys a little story. You know, the 3D printing. So months ago, Karen Kozubsky said to me, she goes, listen, she goes, I want you to make a little box for my fishing club. She's in a fly fishing club, and it's a club for veterans. And she goes, can you design a box? I said, yes. And I went back and forth with her, and I was having such a time. I just could not complete this box. I created it. I went to 3D print it, and it fell to crap. It just went, everything went boom, boom, boom. Well, about a couple weeks ago, I was sitting there watching YouTube videos on 3D printing, and all of a sudden, a method on how to do, like I couldn't get the print in the box, method on how to do this. So I've been working very hard, and this is a finalized project for Karen Kozubsky on her her fly fishing club, Project Healing Waters, and it's the Green Mountain veterans. This is they're Army veterans, so she wanted to go with the orange drab background with the black writing, and I think I really got this down pat. So she placed an order. Right now, my 3D printer is dedicated to finishing this job for her, and it's going to run 24/7 till we're done. And I'm honestly, I'm almost halfway through, tell you the truth. I think I'm more than halfway through, but it takes days. It takes, this piece right here takes 9 hours to make 4 of them on a plate. 9 hours. So it does. It's going to take me a couple days, but they're coming out really nice. So now what I'm thinking is, since I can take logos of any type and I have the box design, these would make good favorite finds boxes. And I think I'm going to market these as favorite finds boxes. Now you see the lid slides, and this is the best way to, I was liking the ones with latches, but this is simple. This fits so tight on here. Okay, slides right on, locks in place. Will make a great favorite finds box, and I think you're gonna see this come out there. So, but if there's anybody out there in a club or has a logo like the Central Park Metal Detecting Club that wants to get their logos put on here and do these for some folks, I can do them for your club. I can mass produce them in a way. Some folks order for me for their Christmas parties as giveaways in their clubs. All you got to do is get a little piece of foam, put it in the bottom. I don't know. You can get 2 pieces of foam, one, to sandwich the stuff. But it looks like it's going to be a nice little inexpensive. I can do these things pretty cheap, so an inexpensive little box. I know they're out there selling them for big dollars, $20-some for a box or something. You want just a basic box? I can do it. I can also make other types of boxes. Like I said, you guys need something for your club, let me know. Maybe I can mass produce something for you. This weekend, I will be going to the Lehigh Valley Hunt this Saturday. Me and Rich and Debbie McAdams will be there. So you'll look for my broadcast. I'll probably be broadcasting that. Maybe I'll try. We're going to have a great day out on Saturday. I got some 3D things to set up out there. But listen, guys, like I said, I'm going to try and get you guys some good guests. I'm trying to hang in here with this show the best I can. I'm treading water. All right. So hope everybody, listen, that was a great guest. Eddie's one of the best guests around. Guy knows a lot about metal detecting. He's taught me a lot. And I honestly appreciate having someone like that as a friend, tell you the truth. So you folks are great. Let's all have a good night. And let's see, did I have this song still queued up? Because this is so funny. This song is wacky. Where are we here? Let's see. Oh, don't forget Relic Roundup coming up at 9. You listen to Butch. For a couple of hours. Listening to Relic Roundup. For a couple of hours. This is an earworm. It's going to get into your head. Such a beautiful. I want my day to be like, it's like living in the flowers all day. So, listen, thanks for joining me. Relic Roundup already on. Let's get on there. Let's go see Butch. I'm going to go see Butch for a bit. Good night, guys. I'm out of here.